by the time we got to the very end of the game, like the total hours was 70 hours. But
yeah.
I ended up the very next weekend going to Best Buy, buying that Xbox, buying a copy of that game, and then playing it by myself.
Welcome to GVSV. Welcome back to GVSV. It's Carl and Alex. We're doing a little something called Off the Rails.
Well,
the genesis of Off the Rails is because sometimes before we start recording React content,
even in the middle of recording
of React content, we just go off the rails and we just start bullshitting.
Yes.
All right. So while the channel has React content, it's going to have video game content, has podcasting, and this kind of falls into the podcasting bucket.
Yeah.
All right. We have content that we have not released of us just bullshitting. And I think it's funny because we're fucking giggling, you know. So the idea is Off the Rails is because he and I tend to go off the fucking rails.
Well, there was one episode of like late season 3 Heartstopper where we had set up the intro, and then all of a sudden we spent 40 minutes before we didn't even start the show.
No,
we ended up just talking, and then all of a sudden we're like 40 minutes in. You know what? Just keep going.
Yeah,
let's just
go. It's 40 minutes in.
We're 40 minutes in. Let's just keep talking.
A piece of content that we haven't released yet. We haven't even, but we did, and we should see if this is salvageable.
Oh,
video game.
Yes.
We tried to do some Fallout.
Yes.
Which I love.
Yes.
All right. But that's like the piece of content that we've recorded that we haven't released.
I mean, besides the unaired pilot, which is
not coming out.
I mean, go back and watch our Heartstopper after action, because there might be little like screenshots here and there, but yeah, no, it was painful. We were not ready.
We were not ready, but in like when we recorded the Fallout content, all right, what I learned there is that we have to research to make sure we could do the thing that we want to do.
Yeah. Because I think my original thought for us doing a just effectively video game episode was
just React content,
which was
because we were reacting to.
It was semi-React, semi-Let's Play. Like it was a combination of those two YouTube genres, and I will say that.
And I think if we do the Last of Us gameplay stuff, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be reacting because it's hard stuff that I don't fucking do. All right, and then it's Let's Play because playing the daggone game.
Exactly. But my plan was, because, and this was also in the in-between phase when we only had 2 of our cameras.
Yeah,
because
we were on the last one.
We were waiting for the third one to show up, and we thought to ourselves, we were like, okay, well,
what can we do with 2 cameras?
What can we do with 2 cameras? And I was like, okay, well, we can record the intro separately, and then we can just set up the 2 cameras and then point them at each of us, and then we'll just have us like picture in picture, almost like on the HUD display while you're playing. And because this is my saved game, my my game console here at in the studio, I was like, okay, well, just go into my my settlements in Fallout 4 and just blow it up. I was like, and the thing is, I even went into the saved game files beforehand, and I like pulled every piece of like heavy artillery that I could find. I was like, here's some fat men, here's some like anything and everything that I could just like pour into my like inventory pockets. I was like, okay, this is what you got. And we went into that game, and what happened?
Well, we thought that I was going to be able just to nuke your settlements and blow them apart.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a demo day.
Exactly, right? So the Marine goes around laughing. He's Demolition Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And you know what? For the life of me, because I've spent hundreds of hours playing Fallout 4.
Yes.
Hundreds. Nowhere else in the game is the environment destructible. Largely. Why would that be different for settlements?
I know.
Why did we think that
I know.
Like, I have used Fat Man all over the place.
Of course.
Right? Because if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Of course.
All right, and why not use a tactical nuke on a little rat? Why not a mole rat? Tac nuke.
Needless to say,
It didn't work out the way we thought it would.
it effectively turned into a settlement tour.
And then me killing all the residents.
Actually, you couldn't kill any of the residents in Sanctuary because they were mostly named NPCs.
Yes, but all the other NPCs
Oh yeah, you had to go to other places to
just totally decimate. So
I will say I was proud of Vault 88. I wanted someone else to see my work and be like, look how I put this together.
I get it. I mean, I've spent so much time on Sanctuary.
Yeah.
This is becoming a Fallout episode. On Sanctuary and its defensives. Like, I have so much armor there.
Yes.
And before I put out any type of perimeter guard stuff,
Yes.
right, we'd get raiders coming in. And I'd come in and I have my people, my settlement, inside my power armor, kicking this shit out of the raiders.
Yeah.
So I built this big-ass military building with Gatling guns and Gatling lasers on it and a full perimeter full of machine guns. And now it really is a sanctuary. It's a fortress,
God.
But video games, man, I have at my house a gaming PC.
Yeah.
I have that 10 million game stick thing you gave me for my birthday. I have...
Oh my God. I have one too. It's in here somewhere.
I have the latest Xbox One X, whatever they call it, and a PS5.
Yes.
Right. Gaming is something, and we gamed young as kids.
Well, I think one of my earliest childhood memories was you and your brother showing me the video game for Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, such a great.
Because you guys sat there and you were like, look, the game has a video clip in the game.
Because back then that was such a wild thing.
I know. I was right there with you. I sat there. I was like, oh, look, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah. But back then, I mean, no, early 90s.
Oh, come on. Let's go further back. What is the first video game you remember playing? Flat out. Pong.
Yes, Pong.
Yeah.
So we had Pong in my house.
Yeah.
All right, because my father had Pong. Because my father would
Yeah,
play
yeah.
video games.
Yeah.
All right, so my first memory of video games was Pong.
Yes.
Then there was the Atari.
So my parents bought me an Atari that they found at some yard sale.
Okay.
And it had, like 30, 40 games with it.
Oh, really?
The game console didn't turn on. I had all of these like cartridges that I couldn't do anything with.
No shit.
So that was it. No.
I think it was like the Atari 1800, which had like wood paneling on it. All right, and then you had the 2600, more futuristic looking.
That must have been it because
Okay.
it had no wood paneling on it.
This like wood paneling.
Oh, no. I've seen pictures.
Yeah.
Like I know of it. And then I guess for me, first real console that I received and played with was the Nintendo NES.
Okay.
Because
Did you not play any PC games back then? Oregon Trail.
oh no, but I mean like that was by default at school because like that was just edutainment. Remember? Because like they would make us play it at school.
See, my dad was in computers back then.
Yeah.
And not like, oh.
No, I mean he worked for a computer company.
Yeah, he he worked for IBM.
Yes. I wasn't saying the name. Like,
Yeah, well, worked for IBM back in the day. And I mean, he had one before there was personal computing.
Oh yeah.
He had a monitor station in his den, and I remember he had like a Commodore 64, something we could play Frogger on, and we had the Oregon Trail on.
So I played it in grade school,
Okay.
but then when my parents bought me my IBM PS1,
Okay.
which had a 25 meg hard drive,
Really?
like total, like 25 meg hard drive.
Yeah.
One of the games that I ended up buying was Oregon Trail.
Okay.
And yes, I have spent way too many hours dying of dysentery. Oh.
I mean, from Atari, then became the Nintendo Entertainment System. That's when, like, to me, gaming started to become gaming.
Yes. And the thing is, like, my very first NES game was the one that came with it. It was a dual game. It was Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt.
Yes.
And I remember, like, my dad loved the laser blaster. Like, he would sit there and he would just, like, yell at the screen. Like, duck. Like, nah. Like,
that's awesome.
oh.
I had a lot of games in the NES. When we were kids, we thought of the most ridiculous way of making cartridges work. Blowing in them, introducing moisture. That's great. Going ahead and while the cartridge is inside of the console, just going back and forth.
No, I didn't do that.
Rubbing the little texture pieces on the top side of it.
I didn't do that either.
Yeah.
Listen, I think the closest I ever did was using a cotton Q-tip and vinegar and just like.
I mean, some of us finally figured out, hey, how do you clean contacts? That's what we're doing.
Oh yeah.
You know. But I think one of my favorite game was Castlevania.
Never played it. I only had maybe 10 to 15 games.
I wonder.
And the thing is, my sister still has those NES cartridges.
That gaming stick has it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wonder if there's an audience
Retro gaming.
for retro gaming. You know?
Let's plays.
Let's plays, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
we're just gonna have to create a whole spin-off channel.
there you go.
GVSV Let's Play.
Let's play. We don't have time for that. All right, so you had all these games, right? You had The Legend of Zelda.
Okay, had that, but did not get Link to the Past until years later.
Okay.
And I actually, as soon as I booted up Link to the Past, I was like, this isn't anything like Zelda. And then I just like turned it off. So I didn't get into it.
You played The Legend of Zelda, the gold.
Yeah, the top down, yeah.
Yep. Right. Then you have Zelda 2.
Link to the Past.
No,
Yeah.
Adventures of Link.
Oh, whatever.
Oh, whatever. You
Yeah.
didn't get into that one?
I think I was also already an adult.
Oh.
Like, I mean, there was, I don't even know. I think it was like a Game Boy DS. And for whatever reason, it was available as like a Game Boy Advance cartridge. And I was like, oh, okay. Like I was like, I wonder if this is anything like the original Zelda. And then I like bought it and I like put it into my Game Boy DS. And I was like, no, it's not. What is this? I was like, I'm just going to go back to playing Pokemon.
Like I said, Castlevania, Super Mario Brothers, super fun.
Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong.
I had like, I don't even know what it was called, but it had like 5 different versions of Donkey Kong on the same cartridge.
Yeah.
And it was just like, Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. and then like all these different boards.
All right, and I mean, there's so many great games on the NES. Then there was a Nintendo 16 came out.
Oh, wait. I think I didn't own as many, but I remember renting.
Back in the day,
renting
there was
games. Going to the video game store. Not the video game store.
Blockbuster.
Yeah, what is it? The video rental store.
Yeah, yeah.
But not even Blockbuster. I remember the one on Main Street in town.
Oh god.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah.
That. Yeah. But like, my dad would go there and he'd like pick out a Platoon or something.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, video game.
So the Nintendo 16 comes out. I didn't get that. I got the Sega Genesis.
The SNES.
No. Yes, the Super Nintendo. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The Super Nintendo comes out. I didn't get that. I still had the NES.
I did get that.
Okay.
And then I ended up, Super Mario World? Yes.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
To this day, I never owned a Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Right, because I went right to the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
All right. Then in that thing, you had like Tekken Bowl. You had Mortal Kombat, right? Genesis Mortal Kombat? I want to say so.
I don't know.
You had Sonic the Hedgehog, right? Then Sega came out
Yes.
with the Sega CD.
Was that?
We would go from cartridge
Oh yeah.
to the CD DVD. Right. And that's when like Sewer Shark and Bram Stoker's Dracula come out.
So my first console with a CD player,
Yeah.
which was the next game console I got after the SNES, was the Panasonic 3DO.
I remember
you-
that.
You know what's even funnier?
What's that?
It is that game console is literally 5 feet away from where you're sitting right now.
No shit.
It's right there on the top shelf.
Oh, look at that.
That, oh my God. Okay. So for those of you out there that have never heard of the Panasonic 3DO, it was the first 32-bit game console while all the other generations were still at 16-bit.
That's right.
And because it was more advanced, Panasonic thought to themselves, you know what? We got a real winner here. Everybody's going to buy it. So we're going to put the price tag on it for $800 in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Early 90s. And because it was so expensive and not many people were buying it, a lot of these game companies that would have made games for it decided to stop making games for it.
Yeah.
So now you have a very limited catalog that is just dwindling and people are not buying the game console, and then it literally collapsed. And that, I want to say, that was an early lesson that the gaming industry learned. Oh, wait, we need to do the printer model where here you go, buy this printer for super cheap, but we're going to keep selling you cartridges for $100 each.
Yeah.
So that was a failure. But the thing is, I knew there was one game that I absolutely wanted, I absolutely needed to play, that I begged my parents to buy it for me.
Which one's this?
Jurassic Park.
Okay.
I sat there and I fell in love with that movie that summer that it came out.
Okay.
That I went back to the Sony Lowe's Theater and saw it 18 times that summer.
What?
18 times. It was early morning matinee, so it was $5 a ticket. But I went back and I watched it over and over and over again. And I was so in love with, I bought the books. I hate reading. I'm such a horrible, I read so slow. Listen. Okay, more pictures than words.
Okay.
But I'm just saying, actual, Michael Crichton's novel, I sat there and I was just so in love with this world of just and I guess even when I was a child, I loved the idea of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And then here's this movie and they look so real. And I was just, I don't know, I was 13?
Yeah.
And I needed to go back. I needed to see it again. I was just in love. So I knew that there was a game being made for the Panasonic 3DO. And I begged my parents to get me the game console so I could get that game. And the game they were selling for $80 each.
Jesus.
I know, in the early 90s. And I begged, and originally, my dad refused. And instead, he bought me a early 90s VR headset. You know what an early 90s VR headset is?
No.
It is 2 miniature TVs, literally an inch away from your eyes.
Well, not for nothing.
Yes.
Current VR headsets are not different. The
Yeah.
lenses in front of your eyes right now.
But it was garbage.
I'm sure.
And the thing is, it was a fraction of the cost of what the Panasonic would be. But I was like, Dad, this is no. So we returned it and then we got that. And I loved that game. I played that game constantly.
I can't even remember VR being back then.
Whatever. It was garbage. It was I don't think the reason, I think the reason they were, and the thing is that it wasn't real VR. It was effectively you watching what you would effectively watch on a TV screen, but an inch away from your eyes.
Okay, but
it wasn't immersive at all.
But okay, what was any of the like content that's on there. What
No,
game?
there was no content.
It was just
literally
TV?
no, it was like a peripheral that plugged into your gaming console.
Got you.
So it was, instead of like the AV going to your TV, it was coming to your eyes.
Yeah, that's not immersive.
No. That was effectively like, okay, like I could literally like sit in front of my TV like a foot away and get the same
Yeah,
experience.
so like I have a Quest 3
Yeah.
that I fly DCS in.
Yes.
All right, here we get into the meat and potatoes of my life when I'm not here. And you can go ahead and watch YouTube and whatnot, and it's just like having this big screen TV in front of you. So I get it. But nowadays, the VR, like I jump into the F-16, and you're in the doggone cockpit.
Oh, yeah.
It is fantastic.
Yeah, no, this was not immersive at all.
You, like, one day I want to sit you down. I know you don't give a fuck about.
No, listen. I happily. And the thing is, like, I think this would be great content.
Yeah.
Because I think my absolute unskilledness.
Yeah, so maybe not DCS. Maybe we'll find something different. Because DCS by itself is an incredible learning curve.
Well, yeah, because the initial startup procedure for your plane is effectively the startup procedure for a plane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could start you in the sky. All right. But then there's still the rudder pedals, the control stick, and the throttle you have to deal with.
Yes.
And if you don't know how, or if you've never played a flying sim, or if you've never flown a plane, it's a big learning curve.
Listen, the closest I have ever gotten to playing a flying anything was controlling Launchpad in the DuckTales video game. Like,
so
that's it.
my
And I think he intentionally crashes.
So my father came in from overseas last week.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, so he's in town.
Yeah, he's in town, but he's leaving. He's going back. I hadn't seen him in like a year.
Yeah.
And he left when I just started playing DCS on the panel.
Yes.
I didn't have the peripherals I have now.
Yes.
Did not have VR. Okay. I sat him down
Yeah.
in the VR. I'll show you a picture.
Okay.
All right. This man's face, the smile, went from ear to ear.
Of course.
He loved it.
Of course.
And for me to show him that, I was so happy. I was so looking forward to showing him that because I knew he would just love it. For somebody who has, like, aviation is in my DNA.
Yeah.
So to show that to my father and for him to be super excited about it was so fucking cool. All right. And I would love to throw you in the dang flight sim for you to see how it is.
Well, I think for them to see me see how it is.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I think that would be fun.
That would be fun. We got to figure that out. We have to do it at the house.
We'll just have to bring most of the setup with us.
Yeah. I mean, we could probably download DCS onto this computer here and run off of this. It'll run really well off of this.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm sure it would. I guess. But
we'll have to figure that out. We'll have to table that for later.
Yeah. So it's an issue of either bringing the studio to you or bringing enough of the game here to run it here.
Yeah. Either way, we're transporting a lot of gear.
Yep. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's either camera equipment to your place or it's peripherals to here.
Yeah. We'll table that for the side. But, like,
Off the rails.
You know. But I know, like, the game you just keep coming back to is Fallout.
Well, so here's the thing. When everybody had to go into quarantine.
Yeah.
What, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Yeah.
When everybody had to go into quarantine, I had to make the decision, what was I going to do with my spare time? And here's the thing. Like, I had purchased an Xbox and I had purchased Fallout 4 and Skyrim and a handful of other games that I just did not play. The reason that I went ahead and bought them when I bought them, and this was like years after they came out. I bought all these games in like 2019. So I had bought myself a game console because I had the expendable money. And I was like, I bought myself all these games simply because I knew that if I don't buy all the games that I possibly can that I maybe want to play for this game console, now I might not be able to play them or find them at a later date.
Yeah.
And that's the Panasonic 3DO lesson that I learned was, hey,
and you also don't do downloads, so you're buying.
Oh yeah, no. I prefer physical media.
Okay.
Like I need to show you my like DVD wallet of like all the movies that I have. But
Okay.
off the rails. When quarantine started, I had to make the decision, what am I going to do with all of this free time? And it was literally just me and my husband alone together in our apartment. And he's an artist. Like, he literally was looking online and just finding these pictures of these animals and these castles and these whatever. And by the end of each day, he would have like pencil on paper, had like recreated it, like drawing.
Yeah.
And I sat there and I was like, well, that's nice. But like, I'm not artistic at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I sat there and I was like, okay, well, I have this game console, which I bought only a year earlier. And I have all of these games that I had like bought but not played. So I should probably pick one. And I pretty much left the decision up to my husband. I said, okay, so I've got a choice between this fantasy, well, effectively like fantasy world or fantasy world. One being Zelda Breath of the Wild, which was the Switch Zelda.
Okay.
And then Skyrim.
Great game.
Great game. And he picked Skyrim. And I sat there and I just got into it for the first time in my life, like in 2020. Like, the game was already, 10 years old?
Yeah.
Or 9 years old? I'm playing it for the very first time, but aware of it because I used to watch a lot of YouTube Let's Plays.
Okay.
And I had seen so many other people like play through the game that I was like, oh, I would love to like play that one
My
day.
daughters to this day still play Skyrim.
Yes.
I even have it in VR.
So I sat there and I decided, I was like, okay, fine. I'm going to get into this game. And hundreds and hundreds of hours in like 4 months alone.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was nothing else to do.
Yeah.
So I just sat there and I just like played it constantly, nonstop. And then when it came time to do something else, I was like, oh, well, like I really, really enjoyed Skyrim. And I know that Fallout is by the same company.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, and the thing is, I'm aware of Fallout because when Fallout 4 came out, I was also watching these YouTube Let's Plays. And the only thing that attracted me to the game was that it was taking place in Boston. And I was living in Boston at the time.
So Fallout 4 is your first foray into the Fallout series.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Because the thing is, like, I wasn't even aware of the IP before Fallout 4. So I was watching these YouTube Let's Plays and I was watching these guys play Fallout 4 and I was like, oh, hey, I recognize that. That's downtown. Oh, wait, that's up in Concord. Oh, like, I was like, the Freedom Trail? I've walked the Freedom Trail. Like,
Yeah.
I know all these places. And I was like, Bunker Hill? Like, I was there last week. Like, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, wow, I get to watch these. And like, I wanted to play it because I wanted to like I'm physically there. Like I could walk out my dorm room and I could see Boston myself. But then I was like, oh yeah, this would be so cool. But then 5 years later, I finally had it. I finally played it. And the same thing that happened with Skyrim. I just got sucked in and hours and hours and hours. But that's it. Like,
does that remain your only exposure to Fallout?
Playing it?
Yes.
I don't know if it counts, but
no.
Mobile game Fallout Shelter.
That
I know.
does not
But the thing is that the mobile game came out nine-ish years ago.
Okay.
So technically, Fallout Shelter was my first exposure to Fallout.
Oh.
Because I did download it 9 years ago when it first came out. And I was playing it until my then boyfriend, now husband, was like, you need to, like, stop doing that and look for a job.
My first Fallout game was Fallout 3.
Okay.
All right. And that's based in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
All right. And I fell in love with the game
Yes.
right the fuck away. Like, this is my jam. And I have numerous completions on that. Then it was Fallout New Vegas.
Okay.
All right, Obsidian in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Another great game. Some people say it's not as good as like 3 or 4.
But I've also heard a lot of people saying that it's better than both.
I don't know if it's better, but it stands up. It stands up.
Yeah.
All right. The Fallout 4 comes out,
Yeah.
which I think I wish there was like real DLCs that tie the worlds of Fallout 3 to Fallout 4.
Okay.
All right? Because there's threads going between them.
Yeah.
That's why I love the show. All right? There's threads going between them, right? They're like, oh, a DLC could start to overlap some of this stuff. I would love a well done MMORPG in the Fallout world.
Yes.
Fallout 76 is not that.
No, and the thing is, like,
Fallout 76.
Before we dive into 76,
Yeah.
I prefer single player games. And
certain things, but
I understand that, but the thing is, like, I've never gotten into like MMOs. Like, I don't know what it is. Even when I was in the military and my friends were like, "Hey, let's play Halo with other people online," and I was like, "Really?" I mean, like,
so
can I?
I never played a multiplayer game until I got separated from ex-wife.
Okay.
All right. And I was like, you know what? I'm you know me. I'm not a big bar guy or club guy. I'm like,
Yeah.
Miss me with this shit.
Yeah.
Right. So I had the Xbox 360. And I was playing a game called it's right in front of me. Can't remember. Rainbow Six.
Okay.
Rainbow Six. All right.
Is this a FPS?
Yeah, it's first person shooter.
Okay.
And it was online co-op. And
Okay.
I think there's some multiplayer to it. And that's where I caught the bug.
Okay.
From there, it was Call of Duty 4. Then I started in Clan. We started doing amateur league stuff, not like Major League Gaming,
Yeah.
but amateur league gaming, right? And just hooked. I was playing Call of Duty 4, World at War, Black Ops. Black Ops is so good. But the point is, there were parts of that where you're starting to get community going, where you don't always want the fast-paced thing. You'd really like to do the co-op stuff. All right. So, like the game I play now, DCS.
Wait. So, no, I understand, but like, for me, delineate co-op versus fast-paced.
Okay. So there's difference between player versus player.
No, I understand.
Okay.
I understand PvP.
All right.
Like,
so the co-op is PvE, player versus like everything, right?
Yeah.
So you have a 4-person team, right? And you're playing the game.
Okay, so just yes.
Yeah. So like they had a horde mode called Zombies in Call of Duty.
So in other words, you and your teammates are trying to
Reach an objective.
Whatever the objective is.
Whatever. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So after the success of Destiny,
Yeah.
Bethesda comes out with Fallout 76.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, who came out with Destiny?
Bungie,
Okay.
the Halo people.
No, I know who Bungie is.
All right. Destiny, great game. It's like the grind. The game's not fun enough for the grind, especially by yourself.
Yeah.
All right. And I even had a team where Destiny 1, 1,000 hours easy. 1,000 hours. Easy, dude. Crota raids, a whole night. We were just like, we each like crack a freaking bottle. We start drinking. We just go on raids, and we were doing it for hours.
Yeah,
hours. We get it down to a science. We knew exactly where everybody was, what everybody's job was. It was still hard as
yeah.
But you're playing with your homies, right? The problem with Fallout 76 when it first started is that there was no protection for new players.
Mm-hmm.
So if you came into the game late, the older players, right, the more veteran players, could kill you and take your griefing.
Yeah, no. And the thing is that, like, so, oh my God. So it's funny that you say griefing, because that's a term that I am intimately familiar with only through
Minecraft, right?
Watching Minecraft Let's Plays.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, like, I've also sunk way too many hours into Minecraft.
I can't get into it.
No, I understand. But the thing was that, like, for me, like, this was during a period of time in my life where I didn't have any current generation console. And Minecraft was something that I could just run on my laptop through Java. Like, it was literally just boot up the computer and go to the website, and you can just, like, play for free. Or if you want, you can give us $10 and you can, like, download an installer and then just run it off your computer locally. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
And because I got into it when it was still in beta, like that, like they had made a promise in the terms of service that any and all updates forever are included. So between official launch and, like, version 1.1 through 1.8 to, like, whatever they're up to now, like, it was just like, here you go, all of the updates forever for free. And I was like, yeah, okay, sweet. This is, $10.
Yeah.
What's
exactly
what? Like, my parents spent astronomically more.
Yeah.
So no, yeah. And the thing was that, like, for me, it was a game. I think that if I had found the right group of people, I would have definitely gotten into Minecraft co-op, not co-op, MMO. Like, I would have loved to have. And the thing is, in the beta days, there was no established, like, online system for you to join. You literally had to know somebody or buy your own server.
Yeah.
And set it up.
Yep.
Like, that was.
There's games like that still.
Yeah.
Like DCS.
Yeah. And the thing was that, like, yeah. And I didn't know anybody, and I definitely was like, I wasn't going to be setting up my own server anytime soon. Yeah. So I was like, okay, well, this is just a game that I play by myself. But when the game was re-released for Xbox 360, then all of a sudden I was able to play locally with my then boyfriend.
Okay.
And I think that goes back to, I do like playing games with other people, but I think the only opportunity that I've ever had to play games with other people have always been local co-op.
Gotcha. Well, I mean, so with the MMORPG, we'll talk about it. 76, it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Right. But it's better to play with friends.
Yeah.
It's nowhere near as good as 4. Just nowhere near. There are some things that tie threads. Yeah. Like, oh, this has potential to, like, because I love the standalone IPs so much.
Do you feel like 76 is too shallow?
Too shallow. And look, they have a whole build concept to it where you're building a vault and like that and all that. And I can get into that. All right. But I mean, it's like not to, spoiler alert. All right, but you go into a vault where you're like controlling all these different military things. Yeah. All right, communications, operations, all that. And I was like, man, this ties in to 3 and 4 and some of New Vegas. Yeah. I was like, if they made 4 like MMO, great. Give it a lot more content.
Yeah.
All right. Make it like Destiny. Make it like a 10-year IP. All right. All day. All fucking day.
Yeah.
I went to Destiny because I was like, oh, this is like Call of Duty meets kind of like Fallout with space aliens. I can play with my friends. All right. So Destiny 1 comes out. And the next year, I get to return back to a Bethesda game. Elder Scrolls Online.
Yes.
The
ESO.
ESO.
So I don't know
I
anything about ESO.
fall in love with.
So like, is it all of Tamriel?
It is most of Tamriel.
What is not included?
See, so the Elder Scrolls Online, it has been going on, and they've been adding to it for the last 12 years.
So in other words, like it started off as like a limited section, and then just they kept like
adding and adding and
Okay,
adding.
okay,
Like they have parts of Skyrim now in there, or so stuff that you're familiar with, like Whiterun and stuff like that.
Where in the timeline does it exist compared to
Skyrim,
yeah?
Before.
Okay, so it takes place
Yeah.
in Tamriel, but before the events.
Yeah.
Of Skyrim.
So basically, you have,
Which makes sense because then you don't have to confirm that any ending from Skyrim actually happened.
I played it for years,
Yeah.
consistently.
Yeah.
Like I ran. I was honored and fortunate enough to run one of the most successful PvP guilds on the game for like 3 years. Like we would go in and we would just demolish anything in front of us. Anything. Shout out to the Ghosts of the Covenant. All right. True Blue. Oh, man.
So wait, from what year to what year were you playing ESO?
I was playing ESO. Oh man. I stopped playing super regularly probably about 8 years ago when I joined the American Legion.
Okay.
And you know me well enough to know that my purpose is helping people.
Yeah.
And when I joined the American Legion and I saw that it was a young group of guys and gals and I could do stuff to impact lives there that were veterans, that grabbed my attention. And I started pulling away. I started having less time.
Yeah.
Dude, I would come home and I would jump on ESO.
Yeah. No, I mean, I
right?
completely understand.
For 5 hours every day,
Yeah.
at least. Friday, there was no social life. None. Zero. It was ESO's ghosts. That was it. Just playing with my ghosts. That was it. Every Friday, we would have what we called Super Bowl Friday.
Okay.
All right. And a lot of the guild would come out and play. And we're talking like, at times, 40 people. All right. We're running around freaking Cyrodiil, which is the PvP area. All right. You get
Cyrodiil being the capital? No, that's
used to be.
yeah.
Used to be. But now all the 3 factions are fighting over it. And that's the thing. You have keeps in the inner keep.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Wait, so this is all happening within the capital city?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Cyrodiil, all right, is the landmass in the middle.
Cyrodiil was in Oblivion?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, just tangent here. I bought Oblivion.
Okay.
And I loaded it up. And I made it through the prison. And I like stepped outside, like through that sewer, whatever, out into the world. And then I was like, I want to go back to Skyrim.
I have every achievement for Oblivion.
Oh God.
All of them.
Oh.
All 1,600 Xbox points.
And
I'm not a completionist. I just love that game so much.
So wait, Oblivion was 4?
Oblivion was what? It was before Skyrim, yes.
Yes, but Skyrim being the 5th Elder Scroll.
Yes, I believe so, yeah. Yes.
So then 4 and then 3 was Morrowind.
3 was Morrowind.
Okay. Which I've
not played that.
I've never touched it. But.
So, story time. All right.
Off the rails.
Off the rails. I had a PS2.
Yes.
I was playing God of War 2.
Okay.
Brand new game.
Yes.
Had it 2 days. And the thing kept freezing in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
They play other games just fine, so it wasn't the console.
Yeah.
All right. So I went back to GameStop, hey, this is freezing. I'm just pissed off. I'm like, oh, we've been hearing this happening. Oh, that doesn't help me. So I got so pissed off at Sony, I bought a 360. I bought Tiger Woods Golf, and I bought Oblivion.
Oh, this. This. Yes.
That tracks, right?
A thousand times. I've known you for 30 years, and that story is you in a nutshell.
Yeah. Okay, you. I'll do your competitor.
Yeah. No. Yes.
Yeah. Like, they didn't offer to try to replace the game.
Yeah.
All right. It's like, I should have took it out on GameStop, but I didn't. I took it out on Sony.
I know.
Right. So that went from PlayStation, Carl, to Microsoft, and I still prefer the Xbox over the PlayStation. Now I have a PS5, and it's fantastic.
Yes.
It is fantastic. God of War on there is phenomenal. All right. I enjoy the games. I even bought a PS4 for the post because we were having meetings and the guys were just playing video games in front of me. I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah.
Right. But so that's when I got into Oblivion, into the whole Elder Scrolls thing. All right. Because I would read all those fantasy books growing up, and I'd even read them, not just the leadership stuff, but also read like fantasy books in the Marine Corps. Yeah. Right. Dungeons and Dragons. If you're familiar with the Winter of Dragon's Tale. No. Okay.
This
Raceland
means
Menagerie.
nothing to me.
Oh God, it's so good. Anyway,
before we go into this tangent,
yeah,
the whole. I don't even know where the clock is.
Yeah.
My first game console after the Panasonic 3DO disaster was in like 2004.
Okay.
And this was like 10 years later. And I honestly, because the Panasonic fell flat and my parents had pretty much like told me, hey, we're not buying you another game console ever again.
Ever again, yeah.
Ever again. Like that was it. Like, this was the game console that we bought for you. It cost a lot. Deal with it. You better be happy with it or suffer.
Yeah.
So then, like, that was it. I was done. Like, there were no more game consoles for me. And the next game console I bought, or I got for myself, was the original Xbox, which is also 5 feet away from you. It's to the right of the Panasonic 3DO. And I bought it simply because for one game. No, like, and not even a game that I had anticipated that I was going to like, but I had a roommate, a Navy roommate, who we were on the ship together. We were in the same division together. We were living together, and he bought a copy of this brand new game called X-Men Legends.
Okay.
And have you ever played it?
No.
Okay.
I know of it.
So, top-down, isometric view, 4 characters at a time that you can control. And if you have 4 people in the room playing, you can all independently co-op play them on the screen at the same time. And it's effectively a dungeon crawler.
Okay.
Where you're just going through this story, and the story is great. And you're just going through this story, and you're pretty much like, you pick the character that you want, or you can swap out between characters, and you can just like meet the objective. You're going up against Sentinels. You're going up against the Brotherhood. You're going all of these other, like, it is its own original story, but it like felt great. Like, it was at the time for me the best version of a video game that I possibly could have imagined was possible. And my roommate and I, the weekend that he bought it, we spent 72 hours. I don't even know if there are 72 hours in a weekend, but like
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sure.
Look at, we played we probably like fell asleep for a couple hours and then like woke up and kept playing. Like,
I've been there.
We just kept going and loved it. Like, I woke up before he did, and I was just sitting there like rerunning Danger Room missions while I wait.
Dude, there'll be times. So, in ESO,
yeah,
all right, the player with the most points for that, what do they call it? I haven't played it regularly in a while. But there's an emperor.
Yeah.
All right.
In your team.
No. So for the entire PvP.
Okay.
Right. You go into a server,
Mm-hmm.
all right, and for like a 30-day period, all right, you're competing against each other, each faction.
Yeah.
Right. You have Daggerfall, Ebonheart, and you have the Yellow. What are they called?
It's okay.
Anyway, Yellow.
What the
The Aldermary.
yes,
All right. Yeah.
the high elves.
Yeah.
What?
It's not racist, all right, because their flag's yellow and the color of their shit's yellow. Okay, they just happen to be high elves. All right.
What?
You have the Covenant, you have Ebonheart, and you have Aldermary.
I played
right?
Skyrim. That's what half the characters in the town
Yeah.
call that.
So, between three factions, you're competing for real estate.
Yeah.
You kill each other, all
Yeah.
right, and all these different things. The real estate that you own, the keeps, the outposts, even the little resources like the farms, the mines, shit like that. They add to your alliance score.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So at the whomever owns all of the keeps, the main keeps, what we call the inner ring, all right, if your faction owns all of them,
Yeah.
the player with the most points in that faction is now the emperor, who comes with a ton
Okay.
of buffs.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, and if you're in that group, the game is so great because it's so deep. It's like enormously deep in character creation, right? And when you come together with a team that you're playing with, right, you could really debuff the other players just by your build.
Yeah.
So it's not just like you're a solo player, you only care about yourself.
Yeah, but you get to balance each other's strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah. And not just that, right? Some of your actions debuff the enemy while buffing you. It's incredibly deep and it takes a modicum of high intelligence to really, or autism, to get it really right.
Oh God.
Get it really right. I can never really figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, because I just enjoyed hanging out with people, understanding the strategy of what best to do with the group of people I had.
Yeah.
To get to the maximum output of combat effectiveness.
Yes.
That was my strength, not my playability.
Yeah.
But my ability to see opportunity and make sure we are in place to freaking seize that opportunity.
Yeah. So being strategic.
Yeah.
As opposed to being tactical.
Well, being both, right? Because as a player,
Yeah.
I was mediocre at best.
Yeah.
Right. But I had some great players, right? But where I excelled at was saying, there's a weakness that we can exploit. All right. And if we do this here, do this here, do this here, it's going to draw people from other places of the map that we can go ahead, take that, and we're going to bottleneck them. Right.
Yeah.
And now that alliance counts for nothing because now they have to fight us here.
Yes.
The numbers mean for shit here.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
So that was my strength. But it was both strategic, right, and tactical. So tactically, right, in that initial combat, right, that you're actually fighting there, that's the tactical thing.
Yeah. Because I think, and this is the way it was explained to me years ago, and I think this is probably the only way that I try to memorize it from here on. This is the way I envision the difference between strategic and tactical. Is strategy is choosing which mountain to climb. Tactical is how are we going to get to the top.
That's right.
Like
That's
it's
right.
just that's how I've like managed to keep those two words separate.
Yeah. So I mean, it's such an incredible game.
Oh yeah.
So when that new month starts, all right,
For the Emperor.
for the emperorship.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
not in the emperorship, but the resets, the campaign resets
Okay.
every month.
Yeah.
A campaign reset.
Yeah.
There are people who just grind out to get to the most points in the inner circle to try to get that emperor. When there was a ghost doing it,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I'd be up. I'd take a nap. I get up and I grind with them. You know?
So I was grinding for hours while I waited for my roommate to wake up and then join me so we could continue the campaign.
Yeah.
And we finished the game. I think the reason the number 70 sticks in my head is because by the time we got to the very end of the game, like the total hours was 70 hours. But
yeah.
I ended up the very next weekend going to Best Buy, buying that Xbox, buying a copy of that game, and then playing it by myself. Because I I'd fallen in. I don't know. I think this is also like my own personality quirk, because like I will find something and I will just
laser focusing on it.
yeah.
It was like one of the things we did, like especially folks in leadership, we would build the different pieces of armor
Yeah.
for the members. Like, so there's a grind to achieve the skill sets to build armor, different attributes of the armor, different like the stats of the armor, right? But the material has to come from somewhere.
So somebody has to mine it. Somebody has to like gather it. Somebody has to smelt it. Somebody has to like.
Yeah, you right, and you would build.
And I don't even know if this exists within your game, but like these are like straight out of Minecraft, where it's like, okay, we need resources.
Yeah, so you're not only are you grinding to build out a crafter.
Yeah.
All right. You're grinding materials.
Yeah.
Like freaking hours.
No, not even. And the thing is,
Hours?
like, do these
Farming Daedra cards.
okay? So
Going through a full delve on loop. All right, this is dry. Out. Back in. Loop.
oh wait. You mean like in game where you're
In-game.
like when you're going through a mine and like you see these random like things sticking on the wall and you like pick them out?
Well, no. So not on the wall, right? You're killing the ads.
So these
You're breaking vases.
okay.
All right. You might see like a vein of ore that you grab.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like
so
but,
different things for different.
like, do you have to like actually pick the vein of ore? Yeah. So just like Skyrim.
Yes.
Okay.
Just like Skyrim. Dude.
Okay.
Just like Skyrim, you had to get all the materials to build your armor.
Yeah.
All right. Now do it for like 200 people. Yeah. That's why we had dedicated crafters.
Oh god.
You know, and it was just.
But the thing is that like some people, they're okay with that.
I was okay with it.
Yeah.
It was for the cause.
No. But not just that. But like for some people, like it's their zen. Like in Minecraft, I mean, I did enjoy building stuff, but like if I really wanted to build stuff, I would just go into creative mode because I would just have infinite resources.
Yeah.
But the thing is, sometimes just digging down deep into the earth and then just like creating these tunnel mines. Oh no, I mean you could always wander through caves, but like creating my like own mines and then just picking away at that's just hours of like monotony that like I don't know.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Dude, it's and even getting out of that, right? Like a segue out of this into like what I'm currently doing with DCS, right? Is hours and hours and hours of practicing aerial fueling.
Okay.
Like flying up to a tanker, trying to hook up to this fucking thing.
So like, do you feel like that's the hardest evolution that you're currently trying to perfect?
It's the hardest thing to fucking do.
Like
weapons
like
deployments.
overall.
Overall, yeah.
Okay.
Because look, I suck at air combat.
Yeah.
Right. But like not air to air, but like freaking they call it BFM, right? So dogfighting.
Yeah.
Suck at it because I don't do it a lot. But air to ground I'm good at. Air to air I'm good at. Like combat air patrol.
Yeah.
Right. But the hardest thing to do is hook up to a flying aircraft.
I mean, yeah, obviously, because you're both at speed, and you're trying to sync up.
Yeah,
like
yeah, and where you have to plug the nozzle is behind you.
I was aware of that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes sense because you don't want it to obstruct your field of view.
Well, where the nozzle is for the F-16 is behind the pilot.
Yes.
All right.
Are there better positions on other planes?
Well, there's easier positions,
such as the nose.
So like for the F-18, all right, it's different. So on the for the F-15 and the F-16, they use what's called a probe refueler.
Okay.
Right. It's just an arm that comes down and it has two wings.
Okay.
All right, and then it goes into a nozzle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For like the F-18. F-14, F-16 with conformal tanks. I know you don't know what that means, right? There is, and even on the 53, all right, the helicopter I worked on,
okay,
right, and CH-47, they have an air fueling probe as well. They have a probe that comes out of the body,
yeah,
all right, on the F-18, it's on the right-hand side, and there's a drogue, right? And basically, it's a basket that has a slight little parachute on it, so it could sit in the air. And basically, you'll go ahead and like this, right? You'll fly your probe into the drogue.
Yeah.
Okay, it's right next to you. You can see it.
Yes, but
right.
in your case, the plane that you're flying in DCS.
In DCS, the
what
probe.
does DCS stand for?
Digital Combat Simulator.
There you go.
All right. the probe is going behind me.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I have to do on the belly of the tanker, it has two sets of lights.
Uh-huh.
Forward, reverse.
Yeah.
All right. This is where your position is. Position lights.
Is it forward and reverse, or is it forward and aft?
It's forward and aft.
Okay.
All right. And then too high, too low. All right. So you're underneath the KC-130 or KC-135. All right. And you're looking at these lights and you're trying to keep pacing with an aircraft that's flying. All right. And keep proper separation. You're just staring at these lights.
I wonder if the Venturi effect comes into play.
Yep. Well, there's all sorts of freaking all sorts of fun shit you have to fight against.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Because, like, I'm assuming with... I forgot the cameras were even there. I'm assuming with, like, two objects moving at speed and a fluid medium in between them, this is something that we have to deal with ships when they're refueling at sea, is their noses are effectively pointed outward slightly, because if they don't, the fluid medium in between will speed up faster than the fluid medium around them and then displace and then cause them to crash together.
Oh, wow.
Again,
I've now observed that.
No. But it's a principle in physics called the Venturi effect.
Yeah.
It's effectively, if you take a straw or a hose, a garden hose, and you like pinch the tip, notice how like the water like shoots out that much further?
Yeah.
That's the principle at play.
Yeah.
You know, narrower opening causes
Just
fluid
higher
medium to, go faster.
Yeah. Higher pressure.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen in DCS. And that's like the hardest thing.
Okay.
All right. For me. All right. And I spend hours practicing it. It's made my formation flying way better.
Yeah.
Way better. But, hooking up to that thing, son of a bitch. I learned to reserve fuel.
Oh, no.
Yeah, man. I got to get you into that thing.
I would love to.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
We'll figure out how to
whatever works. I mean, whether you want to bring that here or us bring...
I think bringing it over there would be easier.
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
But, one thing before we wrap. All right. On the PS2,
okay,
there was a game.
Yes.
I believe it was PS2 called Baldur's Gate 2.
So the name sounds familiar, but I don't know anything about it.
All right. Again, I like these fantasy role-play games, Dungeons and Dragons type.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait, was it...
This was not Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay. Because there was a D&D game that was on CD-ROM.
It is within that kind of turn-based type thing.
But like I didn't know what to do with it. Like it came with it was like a second copy that came with something that I bought.
Yeah.
And I just ended up giving it to one of our like high school friends.
No. Well, I loved it. And this was come out with the third one.
Yeah.
The third one dropped last year.
I don't know where the story's going.
No. So on the PS2, Baldur's Gate 2 came out.
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3 came out last year.
Yeah.
That's like 2 decades.
Oh, yeah.
And dude, fantastic game.
Oh, as in like the difference?
Graphically, story. Like I haven't finished the game because I don't want to finish the game.
It's okay.
I've started new games, new run-throughs.
Yeah.
It's so great.
I mean, I will say that like
what's great about it? Because it's turn-based. If like I need to go do anything else.
Oh yeah, it's just sitting there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Waiting for me.
That reminds me of a game that I used to love when we were young, which I bought for the PC. I think this was like after the whole Panasonic 3DO fiasco.
Mm-hmm.
I think I started to buy a couple more PC games because it was just like, okay, well, I now have a computer that can handle games.
Mm-hmm.
The IBM Ep006 M51.
Oh, the Ep006. Okay.
It was I remember when you came over and you were like checking out my specs. It was like 1.2 gig hard drive.
Yeah.
And
I I had the first run out of Tivas.
I know. I remember. But when I got mine, the sales associate at the store was like, "You're never gonna fill up this hard drive." I filled it up in less than a year.
Yeah.
With dial-up. Needless to say, there was a game called Outpost, which
Sounds
was
familiar.
I lent it to you.
Okay.
I there were two. There was like Outpost 1, Outpost 2. I think it was like I think we're seniors. We were already seniors, and I lent you my copy of both, and then it took me forever to get Outpost 2 back from you. It's fine, but to this day, what 25 years later, I still will. Now I have to like find an emulator. I have to create a DOS box. I need to find, like, because the thing is, even if I tried to run it on like modern computer, like the processing power just like overrides the game, and it's just like blip. like it doesn't even know what to do. But even to this day, it's this really old turn-based game which I will occasionally just go back to, and it was created by NASA scientists who wanted to emulate what it would be like to effectively go on a like manned space mission, but not to like not like a small group, but like to colonize. And to this day, like my favorite map is always the Mars-like planets, and like there's this one map that I always go back to because it's got like the flattest surface, and I was like I know exactly like where to go and like where to like mine my ores and like where to like set up my.
Your game you probably would like. I think it's getting another round of support. It is called the Kerbal Space Program. It's a PC game.
I've seen Kerbal, but that's more like the building and the launching of.
Yeah.
Outpost is really more like it's more of like the, hey, we've already landed and we're playing SimCity.
Got it.
Like it's less about like getting off Earth, and it's more about how do we build a city in space.
Got it.
Which is another thing. I probably I way too many hours in SimCity.
I played that a little bit.
Way too many hours. I don't know. Something about
building.
You know what? I think that's what I love the most about Minecraft.
It's just the building part of it.
Just the building part about it. Because the thing is, like, yeah, okay, there are swords and you can chase skeletons around, but like that's not the part that intrigues me. Like, I love gathering the resources, and I love not just building like bases, which is something I love for Fallout.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think sets Minecraft apart from so many other games is that the in-world physics are so manipulatable that you can build insane creations where it's like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to like put some water here, and I'm going to have that be my source block, and I'm going to have that like create a farm and flow this.
Never really got into Fallout. Fallout. Minecraft. I've used it to discipline my children.
Yes, I've heard this story.
Don't.
Wait. So how did you destroy her base?
TNT.
Okay, so you at least know. Wait, did you have to craft it, or did you just take TNT that she had already like?
Yeah, took her stuff.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I just was trying to figure out if you knew enough to like make it yourself, or did you just like take hers?
I took hers.
It is literally like 5 sulfur and 4 sand.
Okay, sure. Yeah, she wasn't behaving, and it takes a lot to get me to yell.
Yeah,
I'd rather just
teach a lesson.
And she has spent so much time on this base, so much time. I had the day off. So I spent hours
destroying her base.
In one fell swoop, I dug a cavern underneath this base, and I filled it with TNT.
So wait, did you set it off, or did you set a trap for her to set it off?
I set it off.
Oh, it would have been funnier if you had like
That requires knowledge of the game I do not possess.
Yeah. Yeah. So the thing
So
is,
when she logged in, she just had a creator.
oh God. Yeah, I think this is the other reason that I don't ever want to play MMOs. Like, no, let's go back to the whole like griefing, like, because that is a concept that I'm only familiar with because of Minecraft,
Yeah.
and only because there are way too many instances online of communities getting overrun with assholes who
That happens.
want to make life miserable for other people. So it's like, oh, here's this thing that you spent all this time and like energy and focus on. Well, I'm taking it away from you.
Yeah, it's why I try to get into Conan Exiles, and yeah, that was the thing.
Yeah.
Griefing there, I was like,
Yeah.
I had a friend I was played with, and it wasn't anything like regular enough for me to like constantly, spend money. And
Yeah.
We originally were like, all right, we'll do this for a while. I'm like, I spent money on a server.
Yeah.
No, like $17 a month, not a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
But it was so irregular. I was like, you know what? It's not worth the worry.
I think that's the other thing that I liked about Minecraft was after that initial $10 investment, that was it.
Like the people I play with in DCS, the guy who runs the group,
Yeah.
he has his own servers.
Oh yeah, no, obviously.
Yeah. No, not because you play and you go on other people's servers. No, we have our own public servers, training servers, mission servers, and he is buying a new box with all new freaking gear. I mean,
no, but what I mean by obviously is that I feel like if you're going to be serious about something and you're going to invest that much time and money into it, I think it makes
some of these
sense.
Dudes, bro,
Yeah.
have thousands of dollars worth of peripherals. Like what I've coddled together.
I mean,
between virtual reality, freaking flight stick, throttle,
your MFD,
MFDs that have the ICP, dude,
multifunction display.
Yeah. So I'm in VR, all right, and I have the ICP for the F16 in front of me, the MFDs, all right, and with the Quest, I have a little bit of a nose hole so I can see.
Yeah.
All right, and so instead of grabbing my mouse, which goes all over the place, click,
Oh yeah.
click.
No,
I use my mouse for almost nothing now.
No, that's great.
Yeah, except for startup. I have to use it for startup. I don't like that, but whatever. I'm on the ground.
That's fine.
But dude,
yeah,
we need to create video game content.
Yes, I think that I'm going to revisit our Fallout video.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if there is anything that can be salvaged out of that.
All right.
Because honestly, it was...
We can even put up as a fail.
It wasn't even a fail. It was... Honestly, it turned into a base tour. It turned into a base tour with you harassing my NPCs. Like...
With tactical nukes.
Yeah. And here's the thing. Like, it wasn't even... Like, I wasn't even distraught because I was like, it's just a save file.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? It reminded me of that scene in Mandalorian where Baby Yoda is sitting there with like the fire flickering in his eyes. It's like, what is it? The Mandalorian is like beating the hell out of someone. It's like, I was like, yes, burned.
Good times, man.
Yes, good times. So, if you guys would like to help us do all the YouTube things, definitely like, comment, subscribe. I mean, we would greatly appreciate if you could give us any sort of feedback down in the comment section. Let us know if there are things that you would like to see us do, see us play, see us react to.
Let's just talk about it. Is there... Now, there's rules around this one, right? Are there things that you like to have a veteran's perspective on? A straight veteran's perspective, a gay veteran's perspective? The things that we will not touch are the divisive subjects. There's plenty of content creators that will do politics, religion, all that fun stuff. We are not that. Okay?
I mean, pretty much anything you can't discuss in polite conversation.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, like, you know, at the end of the day, I want this to be a fun space for the two of us to come together and really just talk about the things we love.
Yeah, man. So if you want us to talk about things, if you have questions, you want our perspective, I just ask you respect that one request. Make it a subject that everybody can enjoy, right? So leave that divisive stuff alone. Look, I consume content around politics and religion, and I have a rather large interest in geopolitics. But this is like the one space that I get to talk about for fucking hours where that doesn't come up.
I know.
And you know what? I really enjoy it.
Yes.
I really enjoy not having to put any type of gray matter into that.
Listen, I'm just happy that I get to spend this time with you, and we get to geek out not just on the things that we love, but on all the things
like
that
this conversation right now. Okay, to go on for another 2 hours.
I'm sure it would, if
could.
not for the fact that these cameras will probably burn out soon.
Yeah, so I'm being cognizant of that.
Yes.
All right, so like, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, tell your family. The boys at GVSV are having a good time.
Join us in this adventure. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
See ya.
That was fun. Oh my god, my toes are freezing.
Oh my god, cool. It's all 60 degrees in here.
It's what degree?